First of all, I'm Ben Knapman. I'm joined by Fleetwood's head coach, John Sheridan. Thank you for joining me. First of all, how did it feel to first become a manager?
Of Fleetwood? Or
altogether, when you first...
Well, I've been a player for a long time. Management or coaching wasn't really something I was looking at. But as I got into my latest stages of my career, I started getting more interested in it, and lucky for me, I was still playing at Oldham at the time, and I got involved in the youth team, and things just gradually moved on. Took me badges, and eventually I got an opportunity of managing Oldham, and I haven't looked back since. I've been a manager, I think, just near around 10 years now. So very stressful job, makes you go grey, makes you look old, but it's enjoyable when you're winning, especially. Very enjoyable. But I slowly got into it just during probably the end of my playing career.
Brilliant. You have saved Oldham twice, 2006, 15 to 16 and 16 to 17 last season, and you saved Plymouth and you nearly saved for Fleetwood. What do you think it is about you that helps to save teams who are not very confident?
I think it's just being honest with them, a bit of man management. Usually, I'm a big believer in man management. A lot of people talk about stats and what have you, and sometimes complicate the game for me. But I'm a big believer in man management. I think if I've got any strength, I think it's one of my strengths. I think it's just how you treat players. I think you treat people as well. If they come in and you're honest with them and they enjoy coming into work. I think it's a massive part. Obviously, I've come in while the team's not. After the team having a quite successful season last year, things haven't gone their way this year, and I've just come in, and all managers are different. I'll try and do what I feel is right to get us out of the position we're in, and if I feel of management, my man management skills and can help towards that, and the players get something different and feel as though they can trust you. I think it goes a long way for them to going out and performing for you. So, and luckily for me, things have worked out well in the first 5 games.
Brilliant. If you could give advice to any player who wants to go into management, what would it be?
Don't do it. Listen, when you love football, it's like I've played for a long time. I think when you go in after being a player, I think it's all a love. You've got a love for the game. I think if you don't want to be a manager and you don't want to be a coach, and after you've been a player, and I'm only talking on my part, it's just being involved in the surroundings and the things, the perks you get with it, obviously if you're doing well, but I think it's just a love of football. And it's not just manager just because you've been an ex-player. Lots of managers have become managers without playing football, so you've got to have a desire and a love for the game, and listen, the main thing is you want to win trophies and be successful, and I think we all go in it for mostly the same reason, and if you're fortunate enough and you can win a few trophies, you get a bit of notice, and people look at you and think you go on and manage in the Premiership and the Champions League, and
then everything's perfect.
Yeah.
You played for the Republic of Ireland and you scored 5 times. How did it feel representing your country?
Brilliant, yeah. I loved playing for Ireland. Some great days with Ireland. I was very lucky to play with so many good players. I was actually born in Manchester. My parents are Irish, both from Dublin. All the rest of my family are Irish, and
is that what qualified you?
Yeah, if I had a choice, I probably would have played for Ireland anyway. Not that England come knocking on the door, but Ireland were a very good team at the time. Jack Charlton was a manager. I was very lucky to play and be involved in and around a successful era for Ireland, probably 10 years, if not longer. I went to a Euro Championships and 2 World Cups, and brilliant times. Had some really, really good players, but at the same time, the Irish didn't take life too seriously. But we're always a good team, and always quite successful in the tournaments we went to.
Brilliant. What feelings did you have when you became the Fleetwood Town management, looking at the facilities you've got? How did it first feel? Well,
obviously it's an opportunity for me. I totally respect that. Someone's given me a chance to manage the team, the chairman in the first place. But I knew I've only heard good things about Fleetwood from an outsider. Me coming here and obviously managing other teams and other people telling me, and obviously the surroundings, the training ground, you won't get much better. So no, I'm very fortunate to get the opportunity to manage the club, and hopefully I can prove I'll be the right choice, and my main aim is to keep the team in this division, which is really important. So we don't want to be getting relegated, we want to be staying in this league and hopefully moving on for a better season next year.
You said about like the man management and being honest. Is that what you think you've brought in to help the players who were a bit down, losing games as you get into a routine of losing? Is that what you think you've brought in to give them a bit more confidence, a bit more of a lift? And
I'd like to think so, yeah. That's not for me to say. Other people are probably better judge that, but I think if you're going by the results we've had, it's working. So listen, every manager's different. We all got our own ideas, and we all think what we do is right, and so I've just come in and added something different. But a lot of credit goes to the players. They responded me to coming in and the things I do differently, whether it's formation or players but they were all working the socks off. I think the players know the importance of us staying in the league, so they've responded really well to me coming in. And like I say, we're not there yet. We're doing okay at this moment in time, but there's a long way to go, a lot of points to play for, and it's important we just look after ourselves and win as many games as quickly as we can and try and make life a little bit easier. We don't want it to be going to the last couple of games of the season, so if we keep doing and playing the way we are, we've got a good chance of doing that. Tactics
wise, it's what you've like brought players in which, like you said in your interviews, haven't been expecting to play, and some players have expected to play and been on the bench or been left out. Do you change it game by game, whatever happens in training? Because you've done a few different formations since. You've done 3-5-2 with Ash Hunter with Louis at wing backs, and you've done the 4-1-4-1 at Charlton and the 4-4-2. Is that one thing you're not frightened to change the route, like the tactics and the formation?
Firstly, I think I'm going to have to give you a job or somewhere along the lines, aren't you? You're very knowledgeable, very clever, and you're spot on in my tactics and what you've seen, and it's a very good question. No, I'm not frightened of changing my system. Sometimes I'll always do what I believe will get us the right result, no matter who we're playing. So, and I have changed the system a few times, changed personnel, played players, probably players thinking they weren't going to be playing and they have played. I like to keep them all on their toes. I like all the players to feel that they've got a chance of playing. And whatever I've done so far, or whatever team I've picked, or however we've played, is getting the results, which, as again, I said before, is the most important thing. So things are working out. I'm sure if I change the team and we lose a game, people will probably look at and ask the question, why do you do that, and why is he not playing? But at this moment in time, everything's going the way we want it to go, and I'm not frightened to change formation. I'm not frightened to change a winning team, and I'll play who I feel will hopefully get us a result. Whether I play the same team Friday against Wimbledon, we'll wait and see. But and then they've got a game Bristol Rovers, so I'm always looking and thinking about who the opposition are. But mostly I try and concentrate on how we're going to play. Yeah, I think it's important to concentrate on how we're going to play.
So would you play like a player that you think, say if they're going to be quite scrappy, we're going to need someone quite physical, would you think us the most physical player and play them, or do you just focus the best team to get us the result, or does the opposition come into head a bit?
Yeah, the opposition, I do look at the opposition and I think how they're going to play, and if they are going to be direct, do you need some height, a bit of height in there? Are they good at set plays? Have they got quick wingers? Do I need a quick fullback to play against him? But all them things go through my mind, like you're thinking there. And but like I say, I try to think about what we're doing, and we're doing okay at this moment in time. So I don't want to change too much about us. I want to concentrate, and because the lads are playing with a bit of confidence at this moment in time. So, but I'll look at the situation, and like I say, whoever I pick will hopefully get us the right result.
Is there any managers that you look up to or do you just focus on you being the best that you can be?
There's a lot of managers. I was very lucky to play under a lot of very good managers. There's a lot of really good managers out there who are better than me, so I've got to look up to most of them. So, but I think it's important you're just your own man. Like I've said to you before, I think man management is a massive part of the game. For me it is anyway, and I always believed in a manager who probably you didn't know. Well, there's two before your time, Eddie Gray when I was at Leeds, and Ron Atkinson are probably the best managers I played under, and their big strengths for me was how they treated you as a person and as a player. Put a lot of belief in you, and it's amazing. It can make you feel $1 million and you go out and you perform a lot better. So they're probably the two managers. If I had to look up to anybody, it'd be them two.
Brilliant. What would you say your best moment as a manager is now? You've kept Oldham up twice, you've kept Plymouth up and took them to the playoffs, but you lost in the playoffs. What would you say your best moment as a manager was?
I won the league at Chesterfield.
Yeah.
I won the cup at Chesterfield. You forgot that, didn't you? You're doing your own work or what? No, I think I had 1 week. It was probably my best week as a manager. Luckily, I've had relegations as well, and I've lost my job as well. But probably we played Leeds United Boxing Day at Elland Road, which was my first club, and then we played Everton in the FA Cup, and we won both games in the same week.
Didn't you beat Leeds 5-0 or something like that?
No, 3-0 we beat Leeds. Yeah, at Elland Road.
Oh, it's tough,
which was my first time there as a manager, and then in the FA Cup we played Everton, who were obviously Premiership, and we beat them. I think that was probably a really good, and we were doing really well at the time. I think we were second in the league with Oldham in the first division. So, but them two results were probably standout results for me.
Who would you say was the biggest influence on your career as a footballer, then going into management?
Eddie Gray.
Eddie Gray.
Yeah, Eddie Gray. I went to Leeds when I was 17. Eddie Gray was just become player manager then. That was a long time in the 80s, and he put me in the first team when I was 17, 18. He just gave me he believed in me a lot. As a young player, he gave a lot of young players an opportunity. Probably something you wouldn't see in today's game. But he gave a lot of players who eventually went on to have good careers. So the biggest influence, obviously, everyone says you're the dad. My dad's an obvious one who watched me when I was really young, but I would say Eddie Gray was the biggest influence.
If you could manage any club, what would it be? Now, you were at City, weren't you, when you were a young
kid, yeah.
And you were a City fan. Would it be Man City?
No. If I could manage a club,
any
it'd
club?
be either Leeds United or Sheffield Wednesday.
Decent. So brilliant. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for your time, and
Pleasure.
Thank you.